Lesson 12, Infinitive or ING Game Show, Part 1. When you construct a sentence, it can get confusing when there is more than one verb. What form does the second verb take? Today's and tomorrow's lessons will focus on typical English verb patterns. The first important thing to understand is that there are no definite rules when it comes to which verbs follow which patterns. It's impossible to know, just by looking at a verb, which category it will fall into. Thus, the only way to learn these is simply by familiarity. Instead of trying to memorize the lists of verbs that fall into each pattern, I believe it's best to simply see lots of examples and also create your own, so that eventually you'll naturally use each verb in the correct way. For this lesson, it's very important to do the put it into practice writing exercises. Now let me explain how the game show will work. There are 4 rounds of 10 sentences each. I'll show you a sentence, and you'll have 5 seconds to guess whether the verb should be in the infinitive or the ing form before I show you the answer. Give yourself 1 point for each correct answer. You can keep track of your score on a piece of paper. Ready? Let's begin. Round 1. Verbs about feelings, desires, and plans. Number 1. I can't stand waiting or to wait in line. The correct answer is waiting. I can't stand waiting in line. Number 2. Do you mind turning or to turn down the music a bit? The correct answer is turning. Do you mind turning down the music a bit? Number 3. They're planning, adopting, or to adopt a child. The correct answer is to adopt. They're planning to adopt a child. Number 4. I look forward to seeing or see you next week. The correct answer is seeing. I look forward to seeing you next week. Number 5. My parents expect me being or to be successful. The correct answer is to be. My parents expect me to be successful. Number 6. I miss hanging or to hang out with my college friends. The correct answer is hanging. I miss hanging out with my college friends. Number 7. We intend opening or to open a new branch of the company next year. The correct answer is to open. We intend to open a new branch of the company next year. Number 8. I hope getting or to get a good grade on the test. The correct answer is to get. I hope to get a good grade on the test. Number 9. I enjoy sleeping or to sleep late on the weekends. The correct answer is sleeping. I enjoy sleeping late on the weekends. Number 10. I'd like introducing or to introduce you to my husband. The correct answer is to introduce. I'd like to introduce you to my husband. Now let's take a closer look at these verbs. Both enjoy and dislike are followed by the ing form, as well as the expressions feel like and can't stand. Feel like is an informal way of saying that you are in the mood to do something, and can't stand means you strongly dislike something or it really annoys you. For example, I enjoy sleeping late on the weekends. I dislike driving long distances. Do you feel like seeing a movie tonight? I can't stand being put on hold for 45 minutes when I try to call my bank. The verb like is different. It can be followed by either the ing form or the to form. For example, I like running or I like to run. Both of these sentences are correct. The verbs mind and don't mind are also followed by the ing form. Do you mind turning down the music a bit? I don't mind working late as long as I'm paid for the extra hours. The verb miss, feeling sad about something that was part of your life in the past but is not anymore, is also followed by the ing form. For example, my friends and I had a lot of fun in college. I miss hanging out with them. Finally, the expressions look forward to, meaning to be happy or excited about something in the future, and be used to or get used to, meaning to be or become accustomed to, are also followed by the ing form, and not the base form. Say, I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. Don't say, I'm looking forward to see you next week. I'm not very hungry yet. I'm not used to eating lunch so late in the day. It took me a few days to get used to working with the new software. Note that there's a difference between I'm used to eating, which talks about current habit, and I used to eat, which talks about past habit. For more information, see the lesson on two forms of used to. The link is in the lesson text. We use the infinitive after desires such as hope, expect, intend, plan, and want. For example, I hope to get a good grade on the test. My parents expect me to be successful. We intend to open a new branch of the company next year. They're planning to adopt a child, and I want to learn how to cook. One common error that students often make is forgetting the word to. Don't say, I want learn how to cook, or I hope get a good grade on the test. There are only a couple of verbs in English where the second verb is in the base form. We'll learn those a little bit later. Finally, the verbs hate, love, prefer, and like can be followed by either to or the ing form of the verb. However, the expressions would hate, would love, would prefer, and would like are always followed by to. For example, if you say, I like to play tennis, or I like playing tennis, that means I like tennis in general. But if you say, I'd like to play tennis this afternoon, that means I want to play tennis this afternoon. You must use the to form of the verb, to play. Let's go to round 2, verbs about speaking. Again, you'll have 5 seconds to choose which form of the verb is correct. Number 1. He didn't mention having or to have a girlfriend. The correct verb is having. He didn't mention having a girlfriend. Number 2. I promise taking or to take good care of the book you lent me. The correct answer is to take. I promise to take good care of the book you lent me. Number 3. The student admitted cheating or to cheat on the test. The correct answer is cheating. The student admitted cheating on the test. Number 4. I recommend taking or to take a jacket. The correct answer is taking. I recommend taking a jacket. Number 5. Let's discuss hiring or to hire a new employee. The correct answer is hiring. Let's discuss hiring a new employee. Number 6. She always offers helping or to help me with my homework. The correct answer is to help. She always offers to help me with my homework. Number 7. The director denied stealing or to steal money from the company. The correct answer is stealing. The director denied stealing money from the company. Number 8. The taxi driver agreed picking or to pick me up in an hour. The correct answer is to pick. The taxi driver agreed to pick me up in an hour. Number 9. I punished my kids after they refused cleaning or to clean their room. The correct answer is to clean. I punished my kids after they refused to clean their room. Number 10. He claims having or to have experience in this area. The correct answer is to have. He claims to have experience in this area. How many points have you got so far? Let's summarize the verbs about speaking. The verbs agree, claim, demand, offer, refuse, promise, and threaten are followed by to plus the verb. And the common verbs regarding speaking that are followed by the ing form are admit, deny, discuss, mention, recommend, and suggest. Many English students make mistakes with recommend and suggest. There are actually a few different correct structures we can use with these verbs. You can say, I recommend taking a jacket, or I suggest taking a jacket. You can also use the word that. For example, I recommend that you take a jacket, or I suggest that you take a jacket. We can also eliminate the word that and say, I suggest you take a jacket. We don't usually use recommend in this case, but the one structure you can't use is I recommend or suggest to take a jacket. This one's incorrect. Round 3 is on thinking and state verbs. Number 1. He appears being or to be a soldier. The correct answer is to be. He appears to be a soldier. Number 2. I'm thinking about dyeing or to dye my hair blonde. The correct answer is dyeing. I'm thinking about dyeing my hair blonde. Number 3. Imagine winning or to win the lottery and never having to work again. The correct answer is winning. Imagine winning the lottery and never having to work again. Number 4. She always seems knowing or to know what to do. The correct answer is to know. She always seems to know what to do. Number 5. We anticipate spending or to spend $100,000 on training. The correct answer is spending. We anticipate spending $100,000 on training. Number 6. I don't recall meeting or to meet him before. The correct answer is meeting. I don't recall meeting him before. Number 7. We need taking or to take action now. The correct answer is to take. We need to take action now. Number 8. Would you consider going or to go back to school? The correct answer is going. Would you consider going back to school? Number 9. You deserve enjoying or to enjoy your success. The correct answer is to enjoy. You deserve to enjoy your success. Number 10. We can't afford losing or to lose this opportunity. The correct answer is to lose. We can't afford to lose this opportunity. The verbs in this round involving thinking that are followed by the ing form include anticipate, consider, imagine, recall, and think about. And the verbs that are followed by to are appear, seem, deserve, need, and can or can't afford. Let's go to our final round of the infinitive and ing game show with verbs for other actions. Get your pencil and paper ready to mark down your points. Number 1. This job involves taking or to take calls from customers. The correct answer is taking. This job involves taking calls from customers. Number 2. He pretends being or to be an expert, but he's not. The correct answer is to be. He pretends to be an expert, but he's not. Number 3. I tend waking or to wake up at the same time every day. The correct answer is to wake. I tend to wake up at the same time every day. Number 4. Let's finish writing or to write the article tomorrow. The correct answer is writing. Let's finish writing the article tomorrow. Number 5. The soccer player attempted scoring or to score a goal. The correct answer is to score. The soccer player attempted to score a goal. Number 6. Try to avoid taking or to take the bus after 11 p.m. The correct answer is taking. Try to avoid taking the bus after 11 p.m. Number 7. Do you think she'll manage breaking or to break the world record? The correct answer is to break. Do you think she'll manage to break the world record? Number 8. We've been spending time volunteering or to volunteer at the local homeless shelter. The correct answer is volunteering. We've been spending time volunteering at the local homeless shelter. Number 9. You risk losing or to lose all your money if you invest it all in a single company. The correct answer is losing. You risk losing all your money if you invest it all in a single company. Number 10. We decided going or to go to the zoo instead of the park. The correct answer is to go. We decided to go to the zoo instead of the park. So, let's wrap up. The common verbs for actions that are followed by the ing form are avoid, delay, can't help, finish, involve, and keep. Finish, involve, keep in the sense of continue or do repeatedly, practice, risk, and spend time. And some common verbs that are followed by to plus the verb are attempt, choose, decide, hesitate, manage, pretend, fail, learn, prepare, and tend. Finally, there are a few verbs that can be followed by either the infinitive or the ing form with no change in meaning. These verbs are begin, continue, hate, like, love, prefer, and start. For example, the baby started crying, or the baby started to cry. I love reading, or I love to read. The word hate does have a little bit of a difference. Use hate plus the ing form for something you always or generally hate, and hate plus the infinitive for something you are going to do, but you dislike it or don't want to do it. For example, I hate waiting in line. This means you hate waiting in general. I hate to ask you for money yet again, but could you lend me $10? The expression I hate to is expressing regret for something you are going to do. You finished lesson 12. How many points did you get in the game show? The maximum total possible score was 40. If you want, you can send me your score along with your writing task. Also, make sure to do the exercises for this lesson so that you really reinforce your knowledge of which verbs are followed by ing and which verbs are followed by the infinitive. Lesson 13. Infinitive or ing game show, Part 2. Are you ready for Part 2 of the infinitive or ing game show? Today's verbs are all followed by indirect objects before the infinitive or ing form. For example, I'll never forget my son winning first place in the science fair. We invited them to sit next to us. In the first sentence, the main verb, forget, is followed by an indirect object, my son, and then the ing form, winning. In the second sentence, the main verb, invited, is followed by an indirect object, them, and then the infinitive, to sit. Round 1 has 12 questions. Get your pencil and paper ready to keep track of your points. Remember, the correct answer will appear after 5 seconds. Number 1. I'd advise you seeking or to seek professional help. The correct answer is to seek. I'd advise you to seek professional help. Number 2. My mother doesn't approve of my father watching or to watch TV all day. The correct answer is watching. My mother doesn't approve of my father watching TV all day. Number 3. I just can't imagine her working or to work as a teacher. The correct answer is working. I just can't imagine her working as a teacher. Number 4. The boss doesn't allow us eating or to eat lunch at our desks. The correct answer is to eat. The boss doesn't allow us to eat lunch at our desks. Number 5. I remember her being or to be thrilled when she heard the news. The correct answer is being. I remember her being thrilled when she heard the news. Number 6. She reminded him returning or to return the library books. The correct answer is to return. She reminded him to return the library books. Number 7. I'll get my friends helping or to help me move into my new place. The correct answer is to help. I'll get my friends to help me move into my new place. Number 8. I resent him taking or to take credit for the whole team's work. The correct answer is taking. I resent him taking credit for the whole team's work. Number 9. My teacher encouraged me studying or to study abroad. The correct answer is to study. My teacher encouraged me to study abroad. Number 10. I appreciate you responding or to respond to my email so quickly. The correct answer is responding. I appreciate you responding to my email so quickly. Number 11. The defect caused the machinery malfunctioning or to malfunction. The correct answer is to malfunction. The defect caused the machinery to malfunction. Number 12. I forced myself smiling or to smile, although I wasn't very happy. The correct answer is to smile. I forced myself to smile, although I wasn't very happy. How did you do? Here's a quick summary of the verbs that follow each pattern. Do you notice any general themes that the verbs in each category have in common? Verbs plus the object plus the infinitive include advise, allow, remind, get, encourage, cause, and force. And verbs plus the object plus the ing form include approve of, imagine, remember, resent, and appreciate. Now I'll explain the themes as we look at each category of verbs more closely. Verbs that follow the pattern of verb plus object plus infinitive tend to be verbs meaning we say something that will have a direct influence on another person, or we are permitting or forcing another person to do something. For example, here are some verbs where we are persuading or influencing someone. Advise. I'd advise you to seek professional help. Command. The judge commanded the witness to speak. Order. My boss ordered me to rewrite the report. Encourage. My parents are encouraging me to study abroad. Urge. I urged him to stop smoking. Invite. We invited them to sit next to us. Persuade. She's trying to persuade me to cut my hair. Remind. Could you remind me to return the library books later today? Teach. My cousin is teaching me to sing. Tell. The doctor told us to eat more vegetables. And warn. He warned me to be careful. Verbs that represent actions of permission and force also follow the pattern of verb, object, infinitive. For example, allow. I don't allow my kids to watch violent movies. Permit. She doesn't permit anyone to use her computer. Authorize. He authorized them to access the confidential information. Cause. The defect caused the machinery to malfunction. Force. I forced myself to smile, although I wasn't very happy. Get. I'll get my friends to help me move into my new place. And require. The school requires all students to buy textbooks. The most common error that most students make with these verbs is leaving out the word to. For example, saying the school requires all students buy textbooks. I'd advise you seek professional help, or we invited them sit next to us. But these are all incorrect. You must have the word to before the second verb. Now let's look at verbs that follow this pattern, verb plus object plus the ing form. Compared with the other list of verbs, there are relatively few verbs that follow this pattern. and they are often verbs we use to talk about our thoughts or opinions about other people's actions. For example, appreciate, detest, approve or disapprove of, like or dislike, hate, love, object to, forget, imagine, remember, and think of. For example, I approve of my wife quitting her job. She never liked the work anyway. My sister hates getting dirty. I can't imagine her going on a week-long hiking trip. What do you think of Ryan proposing to his girlfriend after only a month of dating? My colleague objects to my getting promoted because he thinks he's more qualified. With these verbs, we can actually use one of two structures. We can say, I resent him taking credit for the whole team's work, or I resent his taking credit for the whole team's work. The more common form is using a noun or pronoun in the middle, so I resent him taking credit. And the less common or more formal way to say it is with a possessive in the middle. I resent his taking credit, but both are considered correct. Again, the most common error made by students is using the base form. For example, I approve of my wife quit her job, or I resent him take credit for the whole team's work. But you can't use the base form in these situations. You must use the ing form. Now let's look at verbs which are typically followed by prepositions. With some of these verbs, you can also have an object, a noun, pronoun, or person's name. Let's continue our game show. Can you guess the correct preposition in each case? I'll give you 3 options to choose from. One of the 3 options will fill all the sentences. Ready? At, by, or for. Let's begin the meeting, planning the timeline for the project. He finished his speech, summarizing the main lessons. In the early days of our business, we started out selling door to door. Which of the 3 prepositions fills all the sentences? The correct answer is by. Let's begin the meeting by planning the timeline for the project. He finished his speech by summarizing the main lessons. In the early days of our business, we started out by selling door to door. Here's another one. Which of these 3 prepositions, in, on, or of, fits all 3 sentences? Don't bother me. I need to concentrate. Finishing my homework. The research will depend. Getting funding from the government. She insists. Taking a taxi rather than the subway. The correct answer is on. It fits all 3 sentences. Don't bother me. I need to concentrate on finishing my homework. The research will depend on getting funding from the government. She insists on taking a taxi rather than the subway. And our final question. The possible prepositions are from, for, and with, and again, only one of these 3 fits all the sentences. I'm trying to discourage my cousin dropping out of school. Your mother doesn't want to keep you having fun. She's just concerned for your safety. Your advice stopped me making a big mistake. The correct answer is from. I'm trying to discourage my cousin from dropping out of school. Your mother doesn't want to keep you from having fun. She's just concerned for your safety. Your advice stopped me from making a big mistake. We also have a handful of verbs that are often followed by other prepositions before continuing the phrase with the indirect object and infinitive. For example, we arrange or wait for. I arranged for my parents to stay at a nearby hotel. We're waiting for you to get off the phone. We count, depend, or rely on. For example, everyone on the team is counting on, depending on, or relying on you to do your part of the project. We gesture, motion, or signal to or for. For example, the other driver signaled for me to go ahead at the intersection, or the other driver signaled to me to go ahead at the intersection. Now put it into practice. What's something you're waiting for someone else to do? Who is counting on you to do something? We'll wrap up this lesson by looking at two special cases. There are a few verbs in English that can be followed either by ing or by the base form of the verb. These are mostly verbs of perception, like feel, hear, notice, observe, overhear, see, and watch. Usually the base form implies that you saw the entire action, whereas the ing form means you saw a part of the action while it was in progress. Compare these examples. I heard her talking on the phone. This means you heard part of a conversation in progress. I heard her say she wanted a divorce. This means you heard her say a single statement at one moment in time. We saw the kids playing soccer in the street. You saw a game in progress. We saw our son score a goal. This means we saw a complete action at a single moment in time. The other special case is when we have a verb plus an object plus the base form. There are 4 verbs in English that use this structure: let, make, have, and help. For example, the teacher doesn't let us use cell phones during class. I made my son apologize to his sister. Again, with these verbs, we do not need to use to before the second verb. The verb have is used in multiple ways in English. When we use it for our own obligation, we say have to plus the verb. But when we require someone else to do something, then we say have plus an object plus the base form of the verb without to. For example, I had to give a presentation in class. This is my own obligation, so we say had to give. The teacher had each student give a presentation. In this sentence, the teacher is requiring others, the students, to give presentations, so we use the base form give instead of to give. Here's another example. I have to call Mr. Smith today. This is describing my own obligation, so we say have to call. But I'll have my assistant call Mr. Smith today. In this sentence, I am requiring someone else, my assistant, to make the call, so I say have my assistant call, without the word to. Now let's look at the verb help. Although it's possible to say help plus to plus the verb, it's far more common in everyday English to simply say help plus the base form of the verb. For example, could you help me carry these boxes? My therapist helped me overcome the pain of my divorce. Again, it's not incorrect to say help me to carry or helped me to overcome, but it's more common to say these sentences without the word to. Now put it into practice. If you have kids, or imagine you had kids, what's one thing you would let them do and one thing you would not let them do? Remember to use the base form of the verb without the word to. Now say sentences about when you've helped someone and when someone has helped you. Again, you can use the base form of the second verb without the word to. You finished Lesson 13. Now try the exercises to practice and review the verb patterns you learned in today's lesson.
you